Hi guys. Sorry I'm feeding Isabella, but this is gonna be the controversial parenting tag. It's an idea that I got from Gabeandjesss. You guys might know her. I followed her through all of her pregnancies and all that good stuff. So that's an idea I got from her. And this is just opinions of things, just different things about parenting. This is just my opinions. And I don't want anybody, getting catty or disrespectful or anything like that, getting defensive. It's just people's opinions. But I would like to know your guys' opinions on all this stuff and why you feel that way. So you guys can comment and tell me how you feel and all that good stuff. So the first topic is pro-life versus pro-choice. I am 1,000,000% pro-life. I do not believe in abortion at all. I believe that abortion should only be legal if the mother or the child or both would be terminally ill if the pregnancy was carried out. And I think that that should only be available at a hospital with a doctor's validation of the disease. Baby wearing. I have personally never done it with Isabella. I've never had a Moby wrap or anything. But I mean, I would do it if I had one. I don't know, I haven't really thought about it, I guess. Circumcision. I am against circumcision just because I believe that it's the baby's body and there's no medical need for it. It's just for cosmetic purposes, so why make that decision for the child when it's the child's body? Like, I believe that a baby's body is perfect the way it's born, and I don't think that we should have to do anything to it. Adoption. I am very for adoption. I believe that if you get pregnant and you don't want the child, then you should have thought about that before you had sex, and you were responsible enough to lay down and have sex. So you need to be responsible enough to at least carry out the pregnancy and give that baby a chance, because the baby didn't ask to be born. The baby didn't ask to be made. At least try to give it a good life, because it's still a baby, it's still a life. Baby piercing. I don't see anything wrong with it. I'm personally gonna get Isabella's ears pierced when she's 6 months old. A lot of people try to compare it to circumcision, which really isn't a good comparison, because you can take earrings out and yes, they leave a little scar, but it's not permanent and you aren't removing millions of nerve endings when you do it. And I don't know, it's not a good comparison. Yes, they go through a little bit of pain, but it's not nearly as much pain as circumcision, and it's only for a second, and they're most likely going to get it done whenever they get older anyway. So, breast milk versus formula. I I breastfed Isabella when she was in the hospital. She was in the NICU for 18 days, and I breastfed her that whole time. I had to fortify my breast milk with formula because she was so small. She was only 3 pounds, so she was so small that I had to fortify it to make it more calories to fatten her up quicker. So I had to do that, and then as soon as she came home, all my breast milk dried up. And my doctor said he thinks it's because of all the stress of her coming home, but all my breast milk dried up, so I had to go to formula. So I'm completely for breastfeeding, but if you have to formula feed, or if you want to formula feed, that's fine, because I'm feeding Isabella formula right now. Spanking. I don't believe in spanking to hurt the child or anything like that. Whenever they're younger and they, go and try to get into a cabinet or something like that, and you just pop them on the butt really soft, it doesn't hurt them, it just hurts their feelings. It just makes them think, mommy's mad at me, I better not do that again. I think that's okay. I don't think any form of beating them or hitting them with anything or anything like that is okay. I believe in timeout and all that good stuff. So I don't believe that spanking is the answer. Co-sleeping. I don't believe in co-sleeping, like just putting them in your bed with you, because so many babies die because of that, because of you rolling over on them. And, you know, people say, oh, you know, I have a maternal instinct, I wouldn't roll over on them. Your maternal instinct isn't going to keep you from rolling over on your child at 3 o'clock in the morning when you're dead asleep. I do have a co-sleeper for Isabella. It's a little, it's almost like a bassinet, but it's really small. You put it in your bed, and it has these little guardrails so that you can't roll over on the baby, but the baby is in your bed with you. So if they do cry in the middle of the night, you can just wake up and, you know, check them, see if they need a diaper change or whatever. Or, you know, if they just want their passy, you can stick it in their mouth, you know, whatever. But, you know, that's just if you guys didn't know what it was. But I do believe in a co-sleeper. I don't believe in co-sleeping. Schooling, like home or private or public or whatever. Really, I don't really have an opinion on that. I mean, whatever works for you is great. I went to public school. My husband went to public school. You know, there's nothing wrong with us. So, you know, I mean, whatever works for you. Vaccinations. I'm vaccinating Isabella on time. All of her vaccinations are on time. She got her Hep B before she left the hospital. You know, she got her second month immunizations. She's going on the 19th for her 4-month immunizations. But I mean, really, if you don't want to vaccinate your kids, or you don't want to do it on time or whatever, that's on you. I mean, if they get measles or something like that, God forbid, then, you know, they have it and you're the one to blame. But, you know, I'm not going to sit here and bash anybody for it, but I personally would vaccinate my children on time. Medicating children. If we're talking about medicating, like, for ADHD and stuff like that, then I don't believe in that, because that's mood stabilizers. You know, that's not natural. That's, I don't know, I just don't personally believe in it. But if we're talking about, like, antibiotics or something like that, yeah, I mean, that's fine, that's great, you know, whatever, knock yourself out. Because if your baby's sick, then your baby's sick. But I don't believe in mood stabilizers or, you know, Ritalin or anything like that. Cloth diapering versus disposables. I was going to cloth diaper with Isabella, but it's just so expensive to get a stash started. So I personally use disposables. I mean, that's just me, but I don't have necessarily an opinion on it. Cry it out method. I do not believe in the cry it out method. I have heard a lot of people using the cry it out method. A lot of people have even told me with Isabella, I'll be on the phone or, you know, whatnot, and people will be like, oh, is that Isabella crying? And I'm like, yeah, hold on a second, let me go get her. And they're like, oh, she'll stop crying, you know, just let her cry herself to sleep. And I don't agree with that. I mean, if my baby's crying, then obviously she wants me or she needs something. She doesn't need to cry herself to sleep. So, I mean, I'm against it, but I'm not going to say that anybody's a bad mom or anything like that for doing any of this. This is just opinions, and, you know, if you do it, then good for you, but I don't necessarily agree with it, or I do agree with it, you know, whatever the circumstances are. So, yeah, you guys can comment and tell me, you know, your opinions on all this stuff and why. And I just think it'd be really interesting to know. So, yeah, you guys, just comment and subscribe and keep following me and everything. Say bye, Isabella. Say bye, people. Bye, YouTube. Bye. Bye, guys.